Hello everybody and welcome. We are back with some more 40k Rogue Trader, just about to make safe away from the planet of Rykad Minoris onto the Voidbreaker after having come into contact with a couple of Chaos folks and a freaking Chaos Space Marine with a goddamn hemp belter. I took care there. I blew his arm off. Let's get cracked into the Void ship, see what's going on. I doubt this is going to be the end of it. Shit. Did we have to go back and talk to the Arbites? I'm just gonna have a look at them. Because I don't want to leave them on the planet. They were supposed to come with us once we secured their starport. Just wondering if we had to actually go back.
I always keep my options open.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Oh god, they are slow. Oh, there.
I always have a backup plan.
Stop me. Okay, nope. Not at all. He's there now, hello. That's what it is. Doesn't matter. Vox Master Victus. Thanks be to the Emperor, you are alive, your lordship. We are most gratified by your return, and the crew is full of zeal to carry out any orders you may have. Sorry, there's just a random noise in the background. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't coming through to you guys. Before anything else, I'd like to recount what happened to the system sun. The Boxmaster falters. Lord Captain, we saw a number of ships approach the sun. Black creations of inhuman make, amalgams of sharp angles and edges. They surrounded the star, and then, my apologies, but I struggled to find the words that could describe the terrible sight. The Xenos made the sun vanish into the void. Into the car, the interrogator closes his eyes and grimaced. You see Abelard's expression change as if a shadow has suddenly fallen over him. He rubs his temple wearily as if he did not have enough troubles at all. I swear the music is fucking loud. Very good, buddy. Hopefully this is slightly more balanced. Xenos. The Xenos enemies of humanity. A breed of Eldar, the most cruel and devious of their kind. The design of their ships matches the description provided by the Boxmaster. Like all Xenos, the Drakari are a blight on the face of the galaxy, with their technological superiority is indisputable. They abhor and fear sorcery, which is why they rely on creations of their twisted intellect, and many of those creations are capable of things that may seem akin to sorcery to the unenlightened eye. The Theft of the Sun is one example of what they are capable of. Yeah, that's pretty fucking baller. Well, they hate chaos, so they're not going to be in the league. I wish to know more about these Xenos. Hendrik glances around. The situation calls for immediate action. Sigismund, we can continue this conversation later if you so wish, but right now, he gestures at the deck teeming with tumultuous activity. I believe you should assume command. Alright, fine. What's the current situation? The navigator's sanctum is no longer empty, but the warp engine is still refusing to obey the engines here. Without it, we cannot perform a warp jump. Pascal's voice buzzes anxiously from his box. It may be angry, or perhaps it is lamenting the injuries it has suffered. I will immediately initiate preparations for a prayer service. If the Omnissiah grants me comprehension, I will appease the machine spirit of the vessel. Why did you not send a shuttle for me down to the planet? I do apologize, your lordship, but we were unable to receive your request for evacuation. The Vox link was overrun with vile interference, screams, blasphemous hymns, and other equally sinister noises. Any who listened to the interference for a protracted period lost their sanity. Several dozen operators went mad monitoring the Vox cast in the hopes of hearing your voice. Each one of them waited in vain. What is happening to the planet now? Our Augur operators are reporting numerous uprisings and other manifestations of the arch-enemy's power-ups at various locations on the planet. Based on the fragments of communication picked up by our Vox operators, there is practically no resistance being offered by the governor's forces. Millions of people are converting to the blasphemous Final Dawn cult en masse and assembling in prayer circles. Do we have any hope of retaking it? I fear that Rykad Minoris is lost. The situation is deteriorating by the minute. We must leave this system as soon as possible. Descend in the Grey Knights. However, there are still people on the planet who have not succumbed to heresy and who are worthy of rescue. Besides the small number of our own shuttles, we also have the shuttle salvaged from Starport. The dark eyes of the Sister of Battle flashes. We must save as many as we can. This has all happened for a reason. Saint Argenta, whose name I carry with reverence and trepidation, is famed for saving the people of a dying world through her power of prayer. The God Emperor himself sent a star from the heavens that lifted the saint and her followers up to the sky, away from corruption and death. We must do as she did, direct all our efforts to saving those people who, at this moment, looked up to heavens in hopes of salvation. The lives of peasants are of little value. Our prime objective is to save the Holy Relic, the miraculous fusion reactor, and the electro-priests who guard and tend to it. Abalide furrows his brows. Every moment we spend in proximity to a dying world, we are putting ourselves at risk. Your life, Lord Captain, is far more valuable than all of Rykad Minoris. The Von Valencia dynasty cannot be allowed to perish, and so lamentable as it is, we must rule out the idea of any evacuation. Heinrich's eyes, like two deep purple dark pools, also resolutely fixed on you. The world is doomed, and its inhabitants along with it. The disappearance of the star was the final nudge towards death. The finale of the cult of the Final Dawn's plans. I once witnessed a similar event, a world that had surrendered to the servants of the arch-enemy and permitted corruption to enter too deeply at this moment. Millions of people are bowing down before those who promised them salvation, and they are willingly giving over their souls to chaos, a sacrifice great enough to bring forth a demon world. Our only hope of stopping this process is to retreat to a safe distance from the planet and conduct targeted bombing on the Electro-Priest Monastery. If we blow up the reactor, a thermonuclear reaction will follow. The world's oxygen will evaporate, killing off the entire biosphere. In doing this, we will save millions of souls from a fate far worse than death, and we will save Rykad Minoris from becoming an outpost of the arch-enemy. Well, given that the sun in the entire system is gone, every planet is fucked. Like, every planet will die. Sorry. So like, everyone's dead anyway. I think the only thing that will survive is the demons. Only death can rescue these people. The Undying One has reached out his hand to this world. It is time for him to reap his harvest. We must not reject his design, lest millions of names never reach him, and instead perish in the depths of the Imperium, which is the warp, or the not real space, or 500 names. The death is a mercy, Domin Sigismund. Whatever fate you choose for this world, I urge you to make haste, Lord Captain. The planet is burning in raging flashes of crimson and purple. I can see it even from orbit. As do I see the storm is already upon us. For every moment that we waste, it grows even more difficult and perilous to steer the ship through the warp's turbulent currents. I'm with the lady on this. Enough talk. We need to get out of here while we still can. Something lurking in the depths of your consciousness bristles at the passing thought of saving people. The spike of horror you feel takes your breath away, it is as if you are planning to steal the prey of a mighty predator. The planet is already warped, wrapped in a thread stretching out from the warp. It deserves to have a new master. Why can we not try to evacuate with some of the people? was going to go. Not waste time, let's pull back and make preparations. Until the planet's inhabitants can evacuate. The nobles you rescued the starport have given the coordinates of shelters. We are finding surviving aristocrats and their families. As for Sergeant Malgar's troops, they will help to control the crowds of frightened commoners and prevent the shuttles from being overloaded. Thanks to you, we have salvaged many shuttles from the starport that we can now use. Blow everything to fuck up, save the fusion reactor, or save commoners, or save the nobles. Tricky choice. I both want to blow it up and save the fusion reactor, because I think that'll help me the most by saving the fusion reactor. But if I don't blow the planet up, I feel like it's gonna come back to bite me in the ass later. Or I'll try and blow it up and it won't work. Let's try and save the fusion reactor. Any delay caused by loading and transporting to the ship will cost us precious time. Do not deceive yourself, Sigismund. If you indulge your vanity, you will do billions to eternal torment at the hands of the archenemy. We're blowing it up. Yes, Lord Captain, I'll immediately inform the navigator and artillery decks. You made the right choice, Lord Captain. May the sacred Exterminatus cleanse this vile corruption. I don't want freaking Chaos Space Marines and warp entities coming at the freaking back of me for the rest of the game, which I feel like is exactly what's going to happen if I don't blow it up. The bridge is in upheaval. The technomat and its prayers mix together in a senseless cacophony while servitors work hastily to remove a hardened crust of sacred unguents from the warp's engine component. In the middle of all this tumult stands Pascal with a data slate clutched in his hand, seemingly disconnected from the flurry of activity around him. Well, this is now your ship and your temples, so start acting like a blasted cog. Crew, heed the words of me, goes Heyman. Pascal, I kindly request that you take charge of this mess. Yeah, let's be nice to him. Thank you, your lordship, you are right. Pascal's voice changes when he addresses the crew. He now speaks with authority and resolve. Deck comrades, heed my instructions. The mayhem immediately subsides, and the crew's actions fall into some indiscernible logic. The omnisized servants start working in sync, and the binaric clamour becomes a symphony of reports which the Magus coordinates like a skillful conductor. Admirably done. Admirably done. Now make this rebellious lump of metal take us out of here. Well done. The Omnisire guides me. The prayers of the tech priest surrounding the cogitator almost drown out the sounds of the bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over a data slate in his hand, extends a mechadendrite towards you. Please take your place at the cogitator, Lord Captain. Step up to the cogitator. The huge machine in front of you is lit with dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. The blinking lights are endless rush of symbols and digits on the green background make your eyes water, and a vague sense of alarms simmers in the depths of your mind. The typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of the omnisized creation. Among the numerous controls, you see the mouth of a cyber gargoyle, the same as at the gates to the warrant chamber. Pascal's voice becomes imbued with imperious force. Servants of the machine, God, heed my command. Acolytes, prepare the incense instruments for the liturgy of machine spirit. Propitiation. Senior technomats recite the prayers to generate a current data report. Operations will be marked with the campanological protocol. Omnisire rejoice. I must inform you that for the purposes of safety, complete reassembly of the warp sextants and updating of its data smith blessings are required. If this is not done, then at launch the volume of aggregated calculation errors could result in the destruction of the data crypts, but as we do not have 100 hours at our disposal, I must omit this procedure. Pascal looks down at the data slate in his hands, a minor deviation from the right of operation for the sake of appeasing the spirit. What must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the Cogitator Guardian, the Saber Gargoyle, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypt. The dynastic blood extracted from your veins will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it we will offer our prayers so that we may bypass the protective protocol for defective connections and launch the warp sextants. Fair enough. Pascal's voice grows quieter. The laws of the Omnissiah know no exception, and so in this ritual I will remain at your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit in whose abode you will be intruding. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain. May we receive his blessing. Place my hand in the metal jaw clampstand in your hand, breaking a delicate corporeal sheath and releasing warm red liquid into its gullet. At the same moment, image of the vid screen before you changes. Connecting 00001, 00002, 00003. Success registration 789.0344. Act.session.initiative BID 8627. Norm _ OS operate respect act. Reach out and touch the keys on the instrument panel. Input back.conf. Normal, unobscured, step, pure, log, strength, check, intelligence. No idea, I'm just reading something random here. Sector 567, greater than 246 dam. Sector 244, greater than 001 stab. NOM.OOS, operate.resp.act. Lord Captain, Pascal stops and then continues more calmly. Please, you will anger the machine spirit before we have removed the instruction. Gesture of the vidscreen, what does this mean? At the sound of your voice, the Cognitator's servant, whose bronze-bound skeleton is built into the Cognitator housing, shudders with a screech. Its skull rotates towards you and then stops in that position. Benevolent code, a voice receptor. Pascal emits a sequence of binary signals and then is silent for several seconds. I hypothesize that the defect is located in the analyzer block. I register a reaction into the signal, but no processed response. Temporary override is permissible. Amagos intently studies the vid screen. The shell was created on a forge world unknown to me, initiating standard invocation of the machine spirit. Pascal leans over the adjacent instrument panel and sets his hand on the controls. At the same time, a quiet stream of machine code begins pouring forth from his vox. What should I do now? Lord Captain, I now ask you to address the machine spirit. Speaking the following command, by my authority, I revoke the invulnerability protocol of the warp engine. The voice receptor will receive the vocal entry. Without your sanction, the machine spirit will not accept the data from the warp sextant. By my authority, I revoke. One of the Cognitator's vid screens turns red. Pascal sees this and raises his hand, signaling to the rest of the tech priest, then withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Servants of the Omnissiah, make now the offering of cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit so that it may be filled with their true and calibrated data. May the Omnissiah have mercy on our souls. In meek solemnity, the acolytes offer up the cleansed data crypts to the warp engine one after the other, repeating prayers of exaltation. After anointing the contracts with sacred unguents, Pascal inserts them in the Cognitator slots. Your head begins to spin from the holy senses, foul-smelling clouds of smoke, and from the loss of the blood that the Cyber Gargoyle continues to drink from you, and the world swims before your eyes. Let this mechanism awaken in renewed purity. Pascal enters a sequence of commands and raises his head, watching the vid screen. Suddenly he stops dead. No! His fingers fly over the command rows, entering command after command. His mechadendrites, clicking their pincers, pull at one lever after another. The vid screens fill with strings of symbols, completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying something to the Magos. Say nothing and do not interfere. After a few seconds, one of the data crypts mounted on the Cognitators begins to emit sparks. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next bursts into flames and gives off foul-smelling smoke around you. The Omnissiah servants break off from their prayers, and someone bursts into frantic pleading. Pascal mournfully grates out, The massive errors in the warp sextant's calculation is destroying the Dazzle repositories. The offering did not appease the ship's spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motive force. We are trapped. A moment later, the Major continues uncertainly. Perhaps an alternative Ryzen protocol or an emergency launch of the auxiliary coils. The tech priest bends over the cogitator, but something in his pose and movements reveal his desperation. While the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks and its static image changes. Pascal is too engrossed in his ritual to notice. Read the information on the vid screen. Stab true, stab false, checking, perturb, disturb, query. Machine spirit, can you hear me? The cogitator servant creaks quietly in his joints, a sound that is drowned out by the binary hymns and the tapping in command rooms. Injury? Query? Gene's reading the name of the Omniscient and revealed to us your power and guard us against the doom. Yeah, let's be nice. So, hallowed machines, moved in the name of the Omniscient and the Emperor. Reveal unto us the power and guard us from our doom. Pascal echoes your sentiments with the triumphant sound of a binary hymn. Pascal's next vocalization goes unsynthesized as he sees the vid screens begin to stabilize one after another, the strings frenetically galloping across the green background are replaced with stable images or regularly updated status report. Only one monitor remains inexplicably red. There it is. The tech priest's voice cracks in shock, but his report is as clipped and clinical as ever. Registering warp sextant activated, registering data stream stabilizing, registering 0 data errors found. Report the warp engine is ready for translation. After a pause, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a Category 3 miracle fulfilling the criterion. Thou shalt witness the mechanism that toils in glorification of its functions and in defiance of deactivation. Master Helmsman Ravor. Lord Captain Ravor here. The crew are almost finished carrying out the orders given earlier, and I've just received confirmation from the engineering halls. I do not know what you did, but the warp engine's up and raring to go. We're ready to begin the translation to the warp, your lordship. Lord Captain speaking, I give you the order to commence translation to the warp. Waiting for you to ascend the captain's throne, Lord Captain, may the Emperor protect us. I'll better get to see an Exterminatus. Yeah. Let's hope it works. Definitely do not want a demon planet at my back. However many more chapters this game has. I'm assuming this is Act 1 out of like 5.
Attention. Preparation procedures for warp translation have been initiated. All crew stand by.
Valencia's flagship made its way out of the doomed star system. As the void ships plunged deeper into the Koronus Expanse, the rogue trader's subjects bid a formal farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects, the crew gathered their strength and braced themselves for whatever was to come next.
Lord Captain, allow me to report. Our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Ostelio informs me that we have reached the point where we can translate to real space in the Furibundus system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are waiting for permission to begin the process. The Furibundus system is home to Footfall. Let's come up. Massive void port on the edge of the Koronus Expanse, notorious hotbed of vice trade and rogue trader intrigue. It's good. I think someone said I think we're looking for someone at Footfall. The only Imperium outpost with a functioning wharf in the Koronus Expanse. The tech priests are begging you to have mercy on the warp machines worn down by the warp and to allow the servants on the Omnicide to inspect and heal the void ship's wounds in the dock. The prayers and rituals will take some time, which our anthropathic choir will use to establish a connection with the prime world of your protectorate, Dargona, Janus, and Akivia Gamma. Master Zachary Weiss has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Imperium. The Liege of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rogue trader of the Von Valencia dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was tinted with shades of pleading, a quote, "Apparently the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible. Footfall, the place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand." Reverend Hieromus Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from me. Imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well, Sigismund. I will be leaving your void ship when we arrive on Footfall, Sigismund. Once that is done, consider the Lord Inquisitor's task complete. Your Lordship, young Yvain Winterscale has asked me to convey his gratitude for your hospitality and for saving him from certain death. Not wishing to outstay his welcome, he plans to disembark on Footfall. Lord Yvain swears he will not forget his debt to you. I hereby inform the rogue trader that during the comprehensive system inspection right, this unit discovered data clusters within the captain's cogitator that are concealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher and a sacrament of algorithmic authorization. The unit Sigismund von Valencia has been added to the access list and assigned the identifier Keeper 2. The unit can access the data from the captain's cogitator provided that he possesses the decryption key. Detect a hit of something resembling curiosity and Pascal mechanical voice. Pascal found a database like Thank you once again for rescuing my squad, Rogue Trader. We will disembark on Footfall. The trail of evidence leads to the docks, and it wouldn't hurt to pay the Liege a visit. I am sure he will graciously extend his cooperation to the Arbites. Are you leaving us, Heinrichs? The arrangement between the Lord Inquisitor and your predecessor was that I be transported to Footfall, and no farther. I dare not take advantage of a generosity and patience any more than I already have. You're a skilled fighter. We could use people like you. What do you say? Extend to stay in my retinue. Thank you for your offer, but I must decline. I am afraid my duty to the Golden Throne comes before everything else. Is there any assistance I can offer you in your investigation, Solomorne? Right at this moment, unlikely. We have a considerable amount of dirty and routine work ahead of us, such as checking cogitator logs and questioning the station's residents, including its less palatable individuals. None of that is worth the rogue trader's time, I assure you. Still, should circumstances change, I will absolutely welcome the aid of such a dependable ally as yourself. Who is this Reverend Hieronymus? So you want to talk to me? He's the head of the Drusian, which follows the cult of Saint Drusus, the legendary hero of the Argivan Crusade who founded the Galaxis sector for the Imperium of Man. Head of the Drusian mission on Football and one of the most prominent clergymen in the sector. Paying him a visit is a good thing for any loyal servant of the Emperor to do. I assisted his mission before I joined Lady Theodora on her voyage. I need his blessing to accompany a new rogue trader on the Von Valencia dynasty. If you wish to have me aboard your void ship, I request that we meet with the Reverend. The shed blood was washed away. It's washed away the taint from our bodies. It is only right that we now wash our souls with the blessings of the servant of the Undying One. The Drusians, like the Bloodspun web, are devoted to asceticism, rejecting wealth and luxury, and surrendering themselves to his service. Though their threat is different from ours, the first spinner spoke of them with respect. Vigilus, tell me about the system we are arriving in. Furibundus is valuable due to its close proximity to the Maw, the gateway to the Imperium. The system is mostly known for Footfall, the main base for merchants, privateers and rogue traders traversing the Koronus Expanse. Additionally, the star itself is orbited by an Adeptus Mechanicus station, which is off-limits to outsiders. Alta Tempus Calixis Ext-17. I had the honour of attending to this shrine for a few thousand cycles. I suggest you abstain from visiting it, as most tech comrades at the station are engaged in meditative calculations and should not be interrupted. What do I need to do about footfall? It is the largest port and the trading capital of the Koronus Expanse. It has a dockyard that will allow us to inspect and repair the void ship, and it boasts its own anthropathic choir, the Koronus Expanse Communications Nexus. Not to mention pirate hideouts, smugglers' catches, and forts belonging to a dozen gangs of groups and factions. In the Koronus Expanse, the Imperium relies on this as its outpost. The fringes of humanity dominant domain rarely resemble its central world, but as long as Footfall serves the God Emperor, insofar as it can, it will be considered the citadel of the Imperium, although I have heard that the ties it sends are underwhelming, to say the least. Due to Footfall's remoteness, it has developed its own rules and customs. Many of the goods that can be procured from there would be considered heresy in the heart of the Imperium, enough to warrant summary execution. Moreover, Footfall is the domain of the rogue traders who transcend certain Imperial laws by virtue of their warrant to bear. Yeah. Footfall is just a brief stop. What's next? As soon as we solve the issues plaguing the ship and establish contact with the key worlds of your protectorate, the time will come for your menage censure, the official ceremony of donning the mantle of rogue trader. It is mostly a formality at this point. You already possess all the privileges granted by the warrant, and yet it is a major milestone in your personal history. The moment your name graces the list of heads of Earthfall and Density, we are all looking forward to that day. Abelard, do you know anything about the Liege of Footfall? Vladim Tokara is a very peculiar young man, considering your upcoming conversation as baptism of fire in Footfall's political arena. Such things are not spoken out loud, but Liege Tokara is the appointee of the Caspilissa mission. The Footfall chapter is one of the most successful crime syndicates in the Imperium man found. Yeah, Jesus. The largest robber baron crime syndicate in the Calaxis sector. They specialize in the coal trade of buying and selling all kinds of Xenos rubbish. Footfall was previously run by a liege who did business with several criminal factions as once, but he suffered an accident. The reins of power were picked up by Vladim Tokar, whose appointment befits only the Caspilica, but also their most powerful ally in the Koronus Expanse, road trader Caligo Winterscale. Yeah, okay. Vladim is a slippery yet very curious fellow. He does not usually beat around the bush and does not play mind games. Perhaps more importantly, he is no fool. Fools do not rise this high in the Casbalican hierarchy. Keep all this in mind. You are a rogue trader, you stand above him in status and will consider your power. Having said that, history has seen cases where Caspilican barons cross swords with rogue traders and emerge victorious. Do not forget that and remain vigilant. The Caspilica, vile tech thieves. Pascal Vox sparks and words. Last word like a profanity. Does Liege want to see me so badly? Not you personally. He wishes to meet the rogue trader of the Von Valencia dynasty. Tokara does not know about Lady Theodora's death and is simply seeking accordance with the powers that be. My gut is telling me something must be wrong. Must be very wrong on Footfall if our astropath managed to read such a strong emotion in such an anodyne message. We have no information, Lord Captain. The broadcast from Footfall's Atherpatic Choir was the only missive Master Zachary has received lately. Tell the Lady Navigator I give her leave to translate from warp into real space. Victus begins issuing instructions. The massive ship appears to change with her every word. The bridge is set in motion as hundreds of people start to prepare for the shift to real space, and measured chanting fills the corridors to safeguard the vessel and its crew. Victus turns to you again. One more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Leia Theodora's demise and you inheriting the title. Liege Tokara will be informed. It is required that so we can use the dock, and besides, he is expecting a personal audience with the road trader. He will not meet with an unknown person of unclear standing. However, there is still the matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive on the station with a proper pomp and ceremony or choose to visit it incognito. Tell me the detail I know these will offend me. According to Footfall's unwritten law, road traders enjoy special privileges that exceed even the power of the liege. However, they may choose not to exercise those privileges in certain situations. Arriving incognito will give you more room for maneuver, while an official visit will allow you to directly interfere in local affairs. Shall explain if you do not mind. As per this unwritten rule, every road trader arriving at the station has the right to veto any of the liege's decisions. But there is a catch. The Koronus Expanse is home to several influential road trader dynasties, and Footfall is where their interests intersect. Of course, that does not prevent certain persons, namely Caligos Winterscale, from subtly pulling the strings on Footfall. If you, a new road trader, start your career with an official landing and a parade in your other unearthed dynasties may see this gesture as a newcomer challenging their sphere of influence. I would be. I do not see this as a bad thing necessarily. Old Winterscale may take slight offence. Jordan will be put on her guard, but you have just risen to prominence, and most people in the Koronus Expanse have not even heard about Lady Theodora's departure yet. It must be made clear that the banner of Von Valencia soars as high as ever. If I may, I would recommend arriving incognito. You'll have plenty of opportunities to savour the sweetness and the burden of power, but right now it is the last time you can take refuge in obscurity. This way your arrival will not draw much attention, and the people will treat you as a person, and not the almighty sovereign anointed by the Emperor. It could turn some situations to your advantage. Go on incognito. It will be done, Lord Captain. Victor's bows again. With your gracious permission, I will return to my duties. Alrighty. Definitely an assassin. Grand strategist. Exemplar. I think all exemplar are dead. Yeah, okay. Mere survival in this grim dark into the far future is not an easy task. To thrive in it, the next to impossible one, but some manage to go beyond and become exemplars. Not only do exemplars possess extraordinary knowledge in their given archetypes, but they have also reached the pinnacle of mastery, transcending what is thought to be possible. New abilities and talents from previous archetypes, and new exemplar talents. Okay. Alright. IH 630. Reflection of the bright lights are playing on the unlit vid screens. The cognitator next to the machine stands a hunched tech priest who bows as you approach, his body folding in half. Lord Captain, the machine spirit of this mechanism summoners. Should you wish to awaken it, use the key of your blood. Place your hand inside the servitor's maw. Sure. Servitor's powerful jaw closes around your hand with a screeching cloak. You feel the cold metal pierce your skin and draw blood. The vid screens in front of you flicker restlessly, filling the numerical combinations. The tech priest by the cognitator nods curtly. The sacrifice mechanic is awakened and ready to receive your request, Lord Captain. Pascal has informed me that the system has encrypted data stored inside. I wish to know its contents. Without another word, the priest turns to the cognitator. He raises his hand and a prayer of binary code pours out of his box device. The servo motors in the bowels of the machine grow louder, its undulating hum responding to his chant. Numerical combinations run down the screens. Scanning, scanning, scanning. Off, river, off. Machine Street has discovered numerous critical errors. The data is damaged. Pectory stops abruptly and the green glow fires and arrows. Registering an intact segment, Machine Spirit has spoken. The worlds of Kavia, Daemon, and Duggar hold certain data repositories. The mechanism is ready to provide the road trader with data keys that can unlock said repositories. How do I accept these keys? Input. transmission initiative, act initiative 0987514882. The gracious machine is willing to transfer the data keys to the head of the House von Valencia by means of an electro... A hypodermic tattoo augment. If you're ready to accept the keys, place your hand inside the servitor's mouth. Yes, please. Deep within the servitor's dark gullet, unseen burning hot needles pierce your wrist, but the sharp pain only lasts a moment. The electro that has been planted inside your wrist should be enough to open the repository doors. I need to know more about the caches. Request initiated. Omnisize favors you. The machines were going to commence the calculation procedure that could restore the lost data. After the cache located on... Sure. The machine hums louder until it lets out a resounding crackle, then the sounds stop and an unmoving numerical combination lights up the screen. The text synthesizer voice sounds almost concerned. The data has been restored, but it is only a single phrase. Litanies of the motive force. That is all the sacred mechanism was able to salvage. Yeah, let's try the Kivia Gamma. Literally exactly the same thing. Blessed are the omnisized Ds. The repository of Kivia Gamma has a security system guarding it. The machine spirit has recovered the code that will allow you to disable the defenses. What data repository? What remains hidden? The encrypted data bank belongs to the esteemed Theodora von Valencia. She was the only one who could have known about these repositories. Perhaps the foreman Engineer Prime also could have known. Omnisire accepted his code. If it were to propose a hypothesis, I would be most prudent if a figure as eminent as a road trader to store her classified data in receptacles most secure. I have other questions. Careful so doesn't mean I've been able to discern how the ship... no, I don't care about either of those things. Yep. Quarters and then to another compartment. Cool. Apparently I don't know anyone in this sector, so can't trade yet. That's fine. Excuse me. Ram, officer deck. Gonna go to my quarters. Put some of that stuff in storage because it'll be a long time until she has get 60 freaking strength. I don't have a use for you. I only have one of you. Plus 4 maximum notions, about 15 plus 10 touch. Yeah. Yeah. I do want to use that soon. And I will be using the solid rifle from now on. That's what I was going to do. I wanted to a little bit heretical, quite Ionocast, and medium. Road trader on that wise can 10% chance to survive with 1 wound. That's pretty good. Thundering guns. The road trader and 2 random allies start combat with temporary wounds. Okay. Oh. Oh, okay. I have that and that, but not that. Just want to see if I have like glass gun expert or something. Power no spike, compose, move, you kill it, plus 6. Commanding voice, down you go. Okay. Koronus Fellowship, Swift Movement Fellowship, move, you kill it, no respite. Ready to serve, build power bonus, and then that. Okay. So if I go to all here, probably. Can I still get like solid weapon, projectile explode? Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, I don't need that yet. Okay, so these what I picked up. Firearm mastery. 3, Agility, integrity, Medicaid, resist, whispering, muzzle, lasso, bolt weapon expert. Head law, firearm mastery. Okay, so should be able to go bolt weapon expert, heavy weapon proficiency. So it'll take it from 60 to 35. She has 30, so I'm actually not. Oh, she's very dogmatic. Very dogmatic. Imperial's most faithful servant of the general hostility secret. Oh, okay. This is. Alright, cool. Dump some crap off. Got some crap still, like these, I guess, just cargo now. I feel like I fucked up by not using all those. Stopping to talk to a winter scale. Fuck up. I do wish we got to see a bit more Exterminatus. That would have been good. But I understand it could have been quite like hard. This game's a little bit old, so like quite hard to actually have all that going. Take up a lot.
The Emperor sets
Rise
my
to
heart.
the top, or get left in the dust.
Let's go Voidship Shrine. Voidship Shrine, I should say. I'd like to find out more of this place. I'd like to get Imperium tenants from you. A positive beaming with joy. Positive beaming with joy. A priest like you, that is a rare sight. Fair observation. Everybody knows that the clergy must maintain a sturge appearance to inspire fear and awe in their flock. Giving you a pensive, the truth is that my clan and I experience great hardship. I cannot explain how it is I am standing before you now, except by his will. How could one be anything but joyful knowing they were saved by the Emperor? Yeah, what happened to your clan? Scarcely more than a child when the malady struck our cabins. First would come the fever, then the unlucky victims would start retching blood. After that they would melt away like a candle. Only the youngest survived myself among them, but now my family is growing and I'm grateful for each new. Okay. Just random crap.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Doubt there's anything else there for me, so we're going to go back to the bridge. And we're going to go to the Expanse. Alrighty, we're going to just a quick save. Oh, that's what I needed to frickin' do. Turn the frickin' music down on this, because it is Could just be me, but I feel like it's really drowning everything out. But let's go to the Expanse. Lord Captain. Raven's voice over the Vox sounds weary rather than annoyed. I'm getting reports of several ships moving towards us, judging by the fact that they're not responding to our hails, and the telemetry shows a trail of macro batteries. They're not here for a chinwag, ready to issue orders to prepare for battle like at your command. On my order, all stations get ready. Time to ask questions. We're about to begin a space battle. Which I have no idea what happens, by the way. I could just get
I
sleep
lift up my
nails.
voice in prayer for this vessel and its hallowed guns.
Cobra class destroyers. Thunder strike macro cannons. Butcher Brim. Let's last starboard cannons, port cannons. Shields will be restored, so we have Shields Master. Okay. Swinging around the flagship flies in a straight line, making a full U-turn at the end of its movement. Huh. Can I do like...
Fire at will!
I don't know if it's gonna happen. Okay, I was like, can I...
Let them taste our fury! Helmsman, take us in!
Outside. Rooting power to the shields reduces the flagship speed by -3 and firing range by -2 for the next turn. It's fun. We get shields. And then what do we got? Void Fairy Inspiration. The flagship weapons have plus 10% to critical damage. Always moving into Q. Can you get me? Can in the battle. Good shields. Started the shield on your flagship and receiving the damage.
Make every shot count! Macro cannons, open fire!
Damn. One square off. Right, it's going around here. Sure, no. Just going for it.
Coordinates set. Helmsman, take us in. force of a supernova!
Amazing. It's pretty fun actually.
Let them taste our fury.
Yay, I got... You get the overall power of the bomb that lets your flagship with combat. Its combat pose the jubilee of its hull and the might of its weapons prevailing over enemies in space battles. Advantages of flagship levels, which enhances its parameters and unlocks new abilities, post improvements and component upgrades. Okay, cool. We got some scrap. We got ancient machinery. 21, and we got some experience. Yeah, that's pretty fun. We got scan is required. Ashworld, I'm over here. Altar, we shouldn't go there. Drusus's blessing and footfall. Let's go to Ashworld, I guess. Scan. Dead world. Should be able to go here. Station data locks have been sealed from them. So the priesthood of the altar was their sanctuaries have no desire to communicate with the laity and are refusing access to the guests. Okay, that's fine. No, just don't click it. Lord Captain, we have the flagship Drusus Blessing with a small escort dead ahead. They are requesting a direct Vox channel patching you through. Chartist Captain Austerius Thorfirst. The Vox channel clicks on, after a brief pause, a dry, low voice hails you. Greetings, Lord Captain. I am honoured to speak with the road trader of House von Valencia. May your name be known through the ages. A Chartist Captain Austerius Thorfirst, bearer of a free charter of the merchant fleet. How may I be of service? What is your squadron doing here? We develop supply routes for the Chartists. You see, my ship is a representative of the merchant fleet in this part of the Imperium territory. Yet we do not have a fixed charter-defined trade route. Our mission is to establish business contracts with voidfarers in need of regular ship repairs and those who are interested in specialized good. I want to know more about the merchant fleet operation in the Koronus Expanse. For the most part, all the Expanse has is fleets of different organizations and small flotillas of merchant ships. Uninterrupted communications between worlds is a matter of life and death for many outposts of humanity. So even in this dark corner of the Imperium, there are charters and ships assigned to the various adeptus. Sorry. Also, the Expanse has next to no stable trade routes, so the job can be perilous at times. Then again, no one is more intimately familiar with the hardships of local commerce than a rogue trader. Let's have a look. Cool. Oh, they only want certain things. Cool, we need some more stuff to trade them. Because we can go into that one. So what do we have on the prow? We have Mars pattern. Boss pattern torpedo tube. Yeah, okay. Let's go torpedoes. I like the laser. Orbit, don't have a choice up there. I don't have. Right, so I got that stuff for nothing. Spend some some scrap to upgrade RAM, upgrade hull. We're at 154. 70, maneuverability, speed, damage reduction. Torpedo control. Oh, okay, when I advance, I get more. Good, you. 85, yep, still the best. Shield Master. Pascal. Master of Maneuvers, you. Warp Channeler. You get shallow jump. The flagship makes a shallow warp jump in a forward direction, or blow the Imperium causes the enemy ship to immediately turn 45 or 90 degrees depending on the ship's maneuverability. If the enemy ship has suffered hull damage, abrupt turn deals an additional damage. And then a master of, what do you get? Flagship next shot gains an additional 2 range, or the flagship augers scan an enemy ship to highlight its weak points or damage dealt to weak. Yep, I like that. Done. Alright. Yeah, how much is that upgrade? 65. I'll save that for now. There might be more. Oh, alright everybody, that is going to be the end of today's episode. Thank you for watching, and come back next time where we land at Footfall, and hopefully we don't get attacked again. Yeah. Anyway, join us for more next time. Peace.